I'm reading from a book by Alistair Begg, and he's giving reasons why he loves this particular carol, Once in Royal David City. And he is saying, here are 4 reasons why I love this carol. First, it begins with history. That means the events it describes happened in a time frame, and they happened in a geographical location. The city where the greatest Old Testament king of Israel, David, grew up, Bethlehem. There was a point in history when this event actually occurred, in a real place and at a real time. Luke and the other gospel writers did not set out to write stories. They set out to record history. Have you understood that the Gospels are not fables, that they are facts? Second, this carol takes us unashamedly to divinity. He came down to earth from heaven. The second person of the Trinity, the eternal Creator God, came from heaven and stepped into time and lived in his creation. The baby born in Bethlehem that first Christmas night was God. God moving into the neighbourhood. If Jesus was just a remarkable man, or a prophet, or a great teacher, then we will stumble here. If that's who we have determined he was, then we will have issues with the virgin birth. We will struggle with the idea of miracles. We will be unable to believe in the resurrection. But once we acknowledge that the baby born in Bethlehem was God, then that makes sense of everything we read in the Gospels. Suddenly, this man walking on water, turning water into wine and feeding 5,000 with a boy's lunch is not only possible, it's what we would expect to see because the Creator has shown up. When we read the Gospels, we read what happened when divinity entered history. And as we've seen, he entered history as a human. Christmas is a story of humanity. He was little, weak, and helpless. Tears and smiles, like us, he knew. This line is often dismissed as Victorian sentimentality. It's not. Babies are helpless. In fact, adults often are too. Babies are moved to cry and to giggle. Adults often are too. God came to earth as a helpless human baby. That is amazing. And he lived on earth as a real man, experiencing the ups and downs that are part of our lives. That is wonderful. History, divinity, humanity, and lastly, majesty. And he leads his children on to the place where he has gone. Not in that poor, lowly stable, with the oxen standing by. We shall see him but in heaven, set at God's right hand on high. God became a man that man could live with God. The baby Jesus grew into the man who died on a cross so that he could open the way to heaven. He became the man who rose from the tomb so that he could rule from heaven at his Father's right hand. And he became the man who sent his Spirit to open people's eyes to the truth about him. We shall all see him at God's right hand on high. We all have an appointment with him there.